Hello and welcome to my channel, my friends in the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and all other members of the Commonwealth of Nations. In this channel, I will be delivering a series of videos, of which this one is the first. In them, I will be speaking about topics related to how to protect yourself from the coronavirus 19 and how to improve your physical and mental health while going through this unprecedented situation. I will be covering different aspects of the problem we are confronted as individuals in this pandemic. These topics will range from the most basic establishing of physical barriers of protection, such as the creation of a homemade and inexpensive protection equipment that will be the one of this video, to more general health measures to improve your immune system and make it more resistant to infection, to addressing behavioral strategies to decrease the habit of automatic self-touching of the face that increase infection risk. Finally, I will present stress management techniques to deal with excess worry and fear during quarantine and isolation to help individuals with the unique situations created by this pandemic. These deliveries form a set of 4 videos that constitute what I believe is the basic arsenal with which every individual in the world has to arm himself or herself to emerge victorious in the fight against this virus until vaccines become widely available. First, I want to introduce myself and explain my background and what authorizes me to speak on this matter and make these recommendations. I am a double board certified psychiatrist with 36 years of experience as a physician with a background in general medicine, neurology, and hyperbaric medicine research. I've been a medical director in community mental health centers for years, and I'm currently a psychiatrist in private practice, specializing in psychosomatic medicine. I practice from a holistic perspective. This is an approach that looks at disease from a biopsychosocial perspective, addressing every possible angle that contributes to its production. At this stage of the pandemic, with no vaccines or effective treatments available, our main defensive weapons are our behaviors. That in itself will determine the outcome in the fight against the COVID-19. Now, changing human behavior is one of the hardest things to achieve. We are creatures of habit, and habits are very hard to break. In these circumstances, changing habits is a life or death matter. Either we get it and change, or we or our loved ones die as a result. Here is the good news. Behavior can be changed, and our bodies operate largely as armors. The virus cannot penetrate intact skin. Our intact skin are our fortresses. It can only enter our bodies through our mucosas, that is, the red parts of skin we find in our bodies. These parts are the body openings, such as the eyes, the inside of our nose, the mouth and throat, the vagina, and the urethra. An exception to that rule is that the virus can enter through open wounds or skin erosions. This, in simple terms, means that if we cover those openings, the virus cannot enter our bodies and infect us. Let's examine then the following. What are the common ways we get infected? Case number 1. Somebody coughs, microscopic droplets are thrust forward powerfully and are now floating in the air. They may remain dancing in the air for about up to 4 hours. We inhale them when we breathe, and we get infected. Case scenario number 2, the droplets fell on our furniture. The virus survives there for about 3 days. We did not disinfect the surfaces. We touched the surface with our hands. We forgot to wash our hands. Then we ate a sandwich and we got infected. In case number 3, we work at a hospital, we follow protocol of prevention, but we are in a rush to get home. We are getting protective gear that is infected off and changing into regular clothes. We take our infected gloves off and we're tired. All of a sudden our eyes itched. We touched the gear. We forgot to use sanitizer on the fingers. We scratched our eyes and we got infected. So we see that the hands and face touching are a very important source of self-inoculation. And this is a factor that is behaviorally based. And if you're interested in this subject, we'll touch upon that on a video on hypnosis and self-touch. So this basic knowledge is all you need to understand the rationale of the measures I suggest you all take from now on in your daily lives and why they are well-founded. And why I expect they will prove effective to decrease the number of new infections and deaths. They are based on the primary prevention concept of using simple, protective, and inexpensive measures of prevention at the beginning of the chain of events. These basic PPEs, or personal protective equipments, can be acquired for less than 25 pounds per person, and they will be able to provide every individual who is in contact with others, whether he or she is shopping, in quarantine, at home, or going to work, with a protection that is at least 80% equivalent to the one most doctors and nurses are using in hospitals around the world. It is true, though, that these measures are not 100% foolproof. There have been many cases of doctors and nurses getting infected and dying from COVID-19. But for the average individual in civilian life, they will suffice if the social distancing measures are respected at the same time as the gear is worn. Now, let's get into the basic protective gear every person should wear from now on when going shopping or interacting with other individuals at work or in the outside world, or if in quarantine at home. Special clothing designed to go out into the public will be more desirable for people who are at the workplace. To cover the body, lab coats for the lab collar workers, and coveralls for blue collar workers. For young people, hoodies with gym pants, and for older people, maybe raincoats, hats or scarves to cover the hair, or any other type of clothing that is not porous and that can be easily washable on arriving home. Washable tennis shoes or regular shoes, as long as towels with douse in bleach is used on the outside as a floor mat to disinfect the soles. Ideally, 2 pieces of each outside work clothing will work best because it can be reused while the other is being washed from the day before. 2 sets of latex gloves or any type of impermeable gloves. 2 masks minimum. No need to be N95 surgical masks. They can be made at home following available online instructions. Plastic goggles, and for those wearing glasses, the goggles must be big enough to house the glasses in. Small bottle of sanitizer to carry on, a bowl with detergent and water by the front door, a bucket with detergent and water by the front door to put the work clothes in when arriving home. A bottle of sanitizer by the front door to sanitize hands as you enter the house. All of these implements are washable and reusable. Every item must be soaked in soapy water and dry with heat daily after use. When it is sanitized and ready to be reused as many times as necessary. There are many more benign viruses out there that make people cough and sneeze. Use the same precautions with everybody because we cannot tell who is infected with a benign virus or with COVID at this point in time unless they are tested. And these precautions, therefore, must be made universal. From a psychological perspective, one big obstacle to implement these measures is people's resistance to wear gear that they may perceive as making them look ridiculous or different. This self-perception would change if governments institute the measures as temporary but compulsory, in which case everybody would be wearing the same type of protection and nobody would feel like a ridiculous oddball. Finally, these measures I am recommending here do not intend to replace any precautions your local state governments are already recommending. They rather go above and beyond. They are much more intensive, but I believe they are necessary at this point in time. I have confidence that we need to follow the recommendations made by the authorities, but we have to be individually proactive to save our lives and those of the ones we love. I trust that these extra precautionary measures will decrease the number of new infections and deaths, and that they will accelerate the date we can go back to work and restart the economy when the authorities determine it is safe to do so. But I believe we need to act now before it is too late. These steps are instrumental in our recovery as a society while we wait for the vaccines and the medications to treat the COVID-19 to be developed, and we can then attain the final victory over this virus. Thank you for your attention. May God bless you all and keep safety first. If you found this presentation useful or liked it, please give it the thumbs up. You're welcome to leave a comment below. More videos in the series are coming up. Thank you.